All right, so how do we customize our tenant portal when we're here in Intune? So what we're going to do, we're going to end up on this screen, and how you get to this is in the Intune Admin Center here. We're going to come over to Tenant Administration, and then you're going to go all the way down to Customization here. So I've already gone through because it takes a little bit here, and in the effort of saving you guys time and boredom, I've already went and created a profile. You are only going to have the default if you have not done anything in here, and the default is bare bones and super boring, so keep that in mind. If you want to click preview up here right now, before you make any changes, you'll be able to see what the factory one looks like. The default, it's, like I said, boring. When we go into create here, you're going to run through and do step by step our basics. So name, description, what our settings are, and I'm going to show you what that looks like from this perspective to avoid having to type here and waste your time. So what you're going to do is you're going to come through these properties here as you go step by step. So our name, our description, our settings here are going to be what our organization name is. You're going to choose our color. So the standard is like a blue background. A note here, you'll see it's a hex code. That's the only way Microsoft accepts it. I'm not going to pretend that I know hex code for colors by any stretch of the imagination. What I did is I just Googled hex color and I drug the color that I want, and it gives you the hex code for it. I recommend that to avoid insanity. Choose whatever color you want, grab the hex code from here, drag it over in here, and you'll see it automatically updates the text color based on whatever you put for a theme color. So when I put black in here, because that's what I wanted, it automatically updated to a white text color to make sure that it's actually visible. That is not something you can change, unfortunately. That's something Microsoft's just going to take care of on their own. The show and header, you can either choose if you want logo and name, or logo or name only. We would upload a logo for both a theme color background or a white color background. Our brand image if we want that. I went through and put in basic information, so contact name, phone number, you could put an email address, the website name, the website actual URL here. And then some of the more important bits here, so our device enrollment, is that even going to be available? So you can either put unavailable, meaning when people come to this portal, they won't be able to enroll themselves. They will be able to enroll themselves, but they won't be prompted, or they will be available and it will pop up with a prompt saying, hey, enroll your device. Your privacy statement URL, this obviously isn't real. I just needed a filler there because I don't actually have a URL for that. But you are going to have to fill something in there. It requires that. You're going to choose your device categories and then which app sources you want to display in here. And then finally, your assignments. That is going to be done by groups. So you can see I have both test and test static in here. I put myself in test static for the purposes of this. And then your scope tags. That's something that we're not going to get into too much here. You don't need to mess with these. Those are something that you can itemize things out a little more. Even you have to create those scope tags. There are none by default. But what you could do with those is if you're a big company, for example, say you've got like an East Coast and a West Coast presence, you could itemize people out by East Coast IT and West Coast IT, and you make a scope for each of those to avoid any further confusion there. And what it actually ends up looking like is this here. So we have all the apps that are available. You see Kids IT Camp up here. We have our privacy terms, which don't actually exist because that takes you nowhere. Pretty simple there. Something to note if you're messing around with this on yourself, something I ran into that was frustrating for me, it took forever after I made this group to say assigned. It was no unassigned. Even after I added myself to the test group, I added the test group to that. It kept saying no for assigned. It took a good like half hour or more for Microsoft to update that, and I thought I was losing my mind that I missed something somewhere along the way. It does take a while. Wait until it says yes on assigned here after you've added yourself in. Whatever group you are added to is what's going to show when you hit preview customization up here, so keep that in mind.